Hi, we're Vanitas.
Hi, we're Vanitas.
Hi, we're Vanitas.
Hi, we're Vanitas, and you're listening to Midweek Mosh. I am here with Vanitas. I'm here with Jade. I'm here with Jackson, Elijah, and it says that your name's Vanitas on here.
My name's Mitch. Yeah, sorry. Normally we end up doing things with both me and Jade on my computer. So it was just nice and easy.
I wanted to start off the interview with the story of how I discovered your band. So in 2023, I took my little brother to his very first gig to see a band that covered the music of Star Wars in a metal way. They're called Galactic Empire. You were the first act on, and I was absolutely blown away. But playing on the bill with a Star Wars, and I'm going to call them this, a Star Wars cosplay cover band must have been incredibly interesting. How did you guys end up playing that show?
Well, with that show, I mean, firstly, we basically just got an email, and it was a very exciting email. And it just seemed like a perfect fit, really. We do kind of proggy, genty metal, and we have a lot of nerdy video game and film soundtrack references in our songs. So to be asked to open for Galactic Empire just felt amazing. So yeah, that's how it happened, really. Just got an email, and we immediately said yes, please, and went from there.
Yeah, I was at work and I was like immediately like, I'm ignoring all work things for a brief moment because I just got this email and I was like, what? Excuse me? I've been listening to Galactic Empire since before Disney came after them for the costumes, like.
The original costumes they were using were, I thought, spot on, but these ones are still pretty good.
They're good, but they've got that like, oh, Disney bullied us into this vibe to them, unfortunately.
Yeah, they've still absolutely cracking it live, and so
God, yeah.
were you. Was that the weirdest show you've played so far?
Yeah, I think I'd say so. That in some ways it was like one of our most chaotic shows because like we don't touch wood because we have a show tomorrow. We don't tend to have tech issues. That was like one of the ones where we had a tech issue where it was like the dumbest thing ever, where because of the stage setup, I couldn't get we all run in ears. All of us are wireless other than Jackson, who's wired, and we were like, oh, we don't have a cable long enough to get his in ears to him. And we had the sound guys like trying their best to assist us on how to fixing the fucking problem. And then Jade can elaborate on this. I can't remember why, but Jade basically like came onto stage like she sprinted across the asylum to get onto stage. I can't remember why. Remind me, Jade?
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely one of the bigger. Well, it is probably the biggest stage we've played so far. And the asylum has obviously the rehearsal rooms, and they're used as kind of green rooms and backstage areas when the show's on. And so I was getting changed in the toilet, and we went on stage earlier than expected. So I was putting in my in-ears, and look, because obviously it wasn't too far away, I heard our intro track playing as I was in the toilet putting my shoe on. And I was like, oh my God. So I sprinted all the way down the corridor, down to the backstage area. And I normally have like a nice chill moment before stage, get my little vocal zones, get my water. And I didn't have time to do that. And I couldn't find my water bottle. And I absolutely cannot survive our set without it. So I disgustingly just grabbed the nearest half-drank water bottle I could find next to me. And I don't know whose it was. I just grabbed like 3 half-drunken water bottles and ran on stage as the intro finished and just like immediately came in. But it worked out in the end. But it was terrifying in the moment.
It always does end up working out in the end. And God bless the sound people running to try and find that cable. They don't get enough love, do they, the techies?
No, they were legends, honestly, because if I'm honest, in any other normal circumstance, I think sound guys would be like, I think you're a bit out of luck. They were legends.
They did their best. So we'll talk about your new track, or your latest track even, Wait and See. It is explosive. It starts with a punch. How do you guys as a band balance the need for the cinematic, orchestral, kind of anthemic sounds alongside your punchy heaviness that comes with like gent and metal?
I think I'd say it's a constant battle. Like, I think it's always kind of I'd like to say that for the most part, we'll come up with like epic sounding ideas, and like sometimes the like super heavy metal side will come second. Sometimes it'll be the other way around. Like, for example, we're working on some material at the moment, and like there was a song that was like all sick riffs. I had to sit there and be like, how am I going to put orchestra to this? I must sit here and work this out. Where there was another song which started off purely from me creating like a cool violin line or something like that. Like I'd like to say it swaps. It's a hard balancing act though, very hard, especially with breakdowns because they're really fun. But then it's like, What do I get an orchestra to do over these just like atonal, disgusting chunks?
I like that. I feel like that's gonna be clipped. How do I get an orchestra over these disgusting chugs? So, um, I feel like it wouldn't be an interview with you guys if I didn't talk to you about video game music. Um, I was amazed that during the show that I watched, you guys played a cover of I'm Here by Sonic Frontiers. Well, not by Sonic Frontiers, but from Sonic Frontiers. And I played the game over the Christmas break. The soundtrack was fantastic. You also did a cover of Alina Siegemann's 115, another fantastic video game soundtrack, Black Ops Zombies, the OG Black Ops. I want to know if you were to produce the music for a video game level, what sort of level would you go for? Would you go for a boss fight, open world, something a little bit more chill, or something like in Sonic Frontiers when you go to the cyberspace and you're speeding through trying to get those rings? What sort of vibe would you go for?
I would love to do either a Final Fantasy battle theme. So I think
Nice.
we had, I think one of the Final Fantasy main menu theme as our opener track when you saw us, if I remember right. I think we did, or the same thing as Sonic Frontiers, where it's just something that's very like to the wall boss fight.
I'm the zombies guy in this group, I'd say. So any zombies map, I'd happily put the music to. Yeah, I'm mad for that stuff.
Would you go similar to like the Alina Siegemann, the first zombies tracks, or would you try something a little bit different? Maybe go for an Avenged or
I think I'd try and do a mixture of both, to be honest, because I liked sort of both eras as well. Um, it was in like Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3 where they brought in like the guy singer. I can't remember his name, but some of that stuff was quite good as well. So yeah, I think I'd try and do a mix of all sort of the Black Ops games and create a blend. Yeah.
We have a bit of a running thing with this band where like we did I'm Here because I'm obsessed with Sonic and I thought it would sound cool. And then Elijah being obsessed with COD Zombies made us go, 115 would be cool. And I think we're just going to slowly go through everyone's nerdiest interests and do a cover. Just slowly, like, I don't know, we'll probably end up doing like the Jurassic Park theme at some point or something.
Nah, The Touch by Stan Bush, man. It's got to be done.
Transformers movie? Yes.
Yeah. If I did the music for any game, I'm a big horror fan, like horror movies and horror games. So anything like an ambient sort of thing, like Silent Hill when you first get there and you're walking through and it's just like noise, like whispering noises and just ambient, low. I love all that sort of thing. So probably something like that.
Yeah, I mean, unlike Jackson, I'm definitely the opposite. I'm not a horror fan. People assume I am because obviously I'm metal and I dress like a metal emo person, I guess. But no, I'm a big baby and I much prefer. I'm a big Nintendo gal, Animal
Same here.
Crossing, Sims, that sort of it kind of vibe, video game wise. However, what I'd love to do musically is kind of similar to Mitch. I'd love to write a boss battle track, but for like an JRPG. So maybe something like Fire Emblem, or even something a bit different. Like I really love how they do the orchestra in the Professor Layton soundtracks. I'm a big Professor Layton fan.
Yes.
So like a metal version of that, if it would ever fit in a game, I don't know. But or like just character themes for villains are always really cool. So we could definitely do something like that.
Incredible. And carrying on with video games, you said that you have a lot of video game references in your tracks. How does your guys' love of popular culture of video games influence your creative process?
I think I'd say it's like a massive influence, especially with like my writing in particular. There's a lot of things in Vanitas songs that wouldn't exist without video game soundtracks. Like a quick example, well, I can think of a few quick examples, but like Between Loon and Eden, the entire vibe of that song, very much my idea of like Final Fantasy metal. Um, one of our songs off our last EP, Queen of Nowhere, the entire bridge section is inspired by a boss by the second phase of a boss battle from Bloodborne called I think the boss is oh no, another boss, Ludwig the Holy Blade. Just very much like when he like goes to his second phase and becomes all like infinitely cooler looking, and then it's like, oh, the music gets really spicy. And I was like, I need to channel that because that's sick. There's like lots of little bits like that just all over the place, I'd say, with our writing.
That's so cool. So, you guys have been together for nearly 3 years, but your music and your live show seems to have taken the local scene by storm. I can't see a gig poster at the moment that doesn't have your logo on it, and that must be really, really exciting as a new band. You released an EP last year. You had a new track, Wait and See, that came out in November. What is coming up for you guys in 2025?
Well, we've just had a little kind of respite over the festive season, and we're very much raring to go again now. So we've been sort of writing behind the scenes, and yeah, things are starting to come together. And we're really excited for our next release. So in 2025, you can expect more music, more shows, more epic video game references and orchestral things and breakdowns too. And we'll just keep doing more of what we do, but hopefully bigger and better each time.
That's absolutely fantastic. And you guys said you had a show tomorrow. I can't promote that show tomorrow, unfortunately, because this interview goes out next Wednesday. But is there anything in the pipeline that you can tell us about currently that you've got coming up?
Yeah, so we have a few shows coming up in February as well. We have our first ever show at the 66 Bar in Cambridge on the 7th of February. And then we also have our first debut show in Wales towards the end of February, which will be at the Hangar 18 in Swansea on the 23rd. So those are our most recent upcoming gigs.
And and I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but what's your favourite venue in Birmingham to play at the moment? And you can all answer.
This is super easy to answer for me. I think we're all going to probably say
Yeah, I think we're all going to say the same.
Should we do it on three?
All right.
3, 2, 1. The
The
Flapper.
Flapper.
What is it about the Flapper that you guys enjoy so much?
Well, for me, we've played both of our EP launch shows there. We launched our debut EP in 2022, and you know the Flap. We really get on with the sound guy Kev. He's awesome, and the venue owner. Just everyone there is really friendly. Love the layout of the place, and it always fills up. And people always come down for a show. The vibes are good.
Good food.
Yeah,
Yep,
good food. Good people.
Also, there's just something love. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's so many good venues in Birmingham, but there is something magical about like you've just sweated your ass off playing a set, and you walk outside and you just see a nice canal. The canal's kind of like weirdly keeping, no matter the temperature outside, the canal kind of keeps everything chill. And it's just like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels like
Serene landscape.
Yeah, like it's a cliche to say, oh, it's a vibe, but that place just feels like a vibe outside. And how I put it. And I think occasionally they put fairy lights up and stuff, and that's all sort of like, oh, this is pretty. This is a vibe. I can only say a vibe.
There's just a lovely community surrounding it as well. Like I go there outside of gigs quite a lot for like they do like a little goth market and stuff I tend to go to. It's just really nice there. I just enjoy it. And we've had some of our best shows there as well. Like our EP launch last year, we managed to sell out the place, which was a first for us. And just seeing a full room all there, like mainly for us, was kind of surreal, really. And yeah, it's just nice to kind of, every time we go back, we see a little bit of growth. We see familiar faces in the crowd, and that's just really lovely. There's nothing better.
That is, I was going to say a lovely note to end on, but I do have a silly question, and I don't know whether I'm going to get, I don't know, told off for asking this, but you guys have mentioned Periphery on your socials. I've seen it. I absolutely love them. I think they're fantastic. However, you refer to yourselves as gent. And they say that gent is not a genre. So, can you firstly and you can all answer if you've got different ways. But what is gent, and is it a genre to you?
So, from my perspective, truthfully, I think it's like gent is a little bit of a niche of prog metal that kind of goes for that certain periphery type sound. I wouldn't argue it's actually a genre, but it's a very good descripting word for a certain style of progressive metal band. But it's just nice to be like, hey, we're cinematic gent because it just sounds cool.
Gent is not a genre. It's the noise a guitar makes.
Yeah,
That's but it's
I
a
think it was
cool thing.
originally.
Cinematic gent is a cool thing to say.
Yeah, I think the origin of the word was like Frederick Thorendal from Meshuggah saying that like when they did a certain style of palm mute, it just sounds like it goes gent, gent, gent.
It does. It does. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean to jump off what Mitch said, the top secret of Vanitas, we are a gent band, but we're secretly not really because we always our tagline is we're cinematic gent because normally it makes people go, what is that? What? And hopefully it gives them enough of a descriptor to click through because obviously cinematic normally refers to movies. We're not a movie, we're a band. And gent refers to a guitar sound, and we do more than that. But cinematic gent, I think, just helps sum it up. I mean, if you was to give us a proper genre label, I'd say progressive metal. But there's so many bands out there saying, "Oh yeah, we're a progressive metal band." So we thought, let's try and make it a bit different to help kind of reach the people we want to reach and say cinematic gent. But I absolutely love Periphery, and if they say gent is not a genre, then sure, I agree with them.
All right. Well, thank you so, so much for chatting with me this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It's been
Hey.
lovely just chatting about nerdy music stuff. I love it.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
just I love video game music. I love metal. It combines it really well. And when it was when I was playing Sonic Frontiers and I heard I think it was the first boss fight, you know, when you get out of the instrumental zones and you stop listening to Crush 40 for a second and you
Yeah.
get into the Kellen Quinns of it all. I was like, is that Kellen Quinn? I was like, what's and Sonic, if you're a nerd, and I'm assuming you guys are, no offense, but also
No, we are big nerds. You are correct.
when you play like Sonic are known for collaborating with big famous, like they collaborated, I think it was Sonic 3 was partly done with Michael Jackson, or at least has influences of Michael Jackson's music in it. So
Sonic
then when
3...
you see carry on.
Sonic 3 did have music wrote by Michael Jackson. That's why there's like loads of tracks changed out because his estate won't allow them to use it anymore. Unlike all the re-releases.
That's really sad. Like, keep Michael's legacy alive through Sonic 3. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you hear bands like To Octavia and I was gonna say Sleeping with Sirens, but it is just Kellen Quinn on a Sonic game, you think, yeah, this is really cool.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say that would be like a bucket list for us to be a part of a Sonic soundtrack. Or we follow the Sonic Symphony quite closely, and one of the singers that tours with them is in a band called Seven Spires, and they're like, we love them and we'd love to tour with them as well. So any sort of connection through those things would be like bucket list goals for us.
Yeah, oh, God, I keep seeing Sonic Symphony, and I keep seeing all the TikToks where they go, "Oh, I hope she plays Hot to Go," and it's like, this is Sonic Symphony, and you just hear rolling around it, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
so
God.
You said that you did a video game cover based on Sonic because it's one of your special interests. And Elijah's was Call of Duty. Like, what's coming up next in terms of video game covers for you, do you think?
Transformers cover.
It's got to happen.
Please. I've been
recently thrown around the idea of doing just ending our set on the Final Fantasy VII victory theme. The little just ending like wipeouts on that just for the funnies.
Just walk off, say nothing, and just that.
I know that this isn't. Oh no, I guess no, this is a video game. Since we're called Vanitas, I think we have to at some point do a Kingdom Hearts cover of some kind because we're literally named after Kingdom Hearts, and that's like another one of Elijah's and Mitch's big things. And I've sort of got into it through them too. So, yeah, that needs to happen. I think.
One day we'll do that Sanctuary cover we keep joking about.
Yeah, that'd be good.